Welcome to Pouse Around the House. In this video I'm going to give you a review and demonstration of the Makita DUH751Z brushless hedge trimmer. I'll go through the functions of the hedge trimmer, some basic stats, and then we'll go and test it out on my garden hedge. So this particular model is the 751, and the 75 just means it's got a 75cm cutting blade. They do this in a 601 and a 501 and possibly a couple of others, I think. And again, it just represents the length of the blade. So the 501's 50cm, 601's 60cm, but all those models are basically the same hedge cutter, just with a different length blade. And although this is called the DUH751Z, they actually do the package deals, and that is then called the 751RT, and that's exactly what I went for with this one. That just means that this one came with a 5Ah battery and the DC18RC rapid charger. This is the brushless motor, so they say that it increases the length of the battery life when you're using it compared to the cheaper models that aren't the brushless motors. And this hedge trimmer is part of the Makita LXT range, so it does take the LXT 18V batteries. So if you're looking to get into Makita tools, or you already own a range of Makita tools, then obviously this one's perfect. So the battery goes in from the side on this particular model, like that. Just clicks into place. One thing I noticed with this, once the battery's in, is how well balanced it is. If you just hold that like that with your hand, it'll stay perfectly level, which just means that you're not fighting it when you're using it, so that it always wants to stay with that as your centre pivot point, which is excellent. You'll notice on a lot of cheaper tools or hedge trimmers that if you did that, you'll find it'll be rocking backwards or rocking forwards, and then you're tackling it around when you're on the hedge. So that makes a huge difference when you're using something like this. Now, they say the net weight of this particular hedge trimmer is about 4.5 kilos. I think the shortest one is about 3.8 kilos, and I'm assuming the difference is just due to the length of the blade. Now, the gross weight, I'm assuming with the battery, is probably just over 5 kilos. But the good thing is with this, is that because it's so well balanced, with that battery in place, and with your guard off, it actually gives the feel that it's possibly a bit lighter than it actually is. Now, in order to make cutting a lot more comfortable, this handle actually has 5 different positions. And to do that, you just push down this red lever here, and you can rotate that to the left or the right, like that, and we can go another click and get that round there. And that just means that if you're cutting up the hedge that way, you can have your hand in that direction and this hand there, or we can rotate it back round like that and do exactly the same on the other side. So you've got 1 position, 2, and then 3 to the top, and then 1 and 2 on the other side, like that. So like all hedge trimmers, we've got various safety features in order to operate it. So first of all, we need to hold down the power button and turn the power on. Then we need to hold down this switch here, followed by the one underneath, and then followed by this one here. And that will operate the hedge trimmer. So on this hedge trimmer, we've got 3 different cut settings. So we've got the tortoise there, you can see that light, that represents the slowest setting. Press the power button again, that's the middle setting. If we press the power button again, we're up to the hair, and that is the fastest cut setting. Now, your slowest cut is 0 to 2000 strokes per minute. The next one is 0 to 3600 strokes per minute. When we go to the fastest one, it's 0 to 4400 strokes per minute. So that's pretty quick compared to most other hedge trimmers on the market. I'll just demonstrate the different speed settings so you can hear the sound of the blades. So this is your slowest one, and this one is 2000 strokes per minute. Then we got the next setting, and this one is 3600 strokes per minute. And then on to our fastest setting, and this one is up to 4400 strokes per minute. So that should give you some indication of the sound you're going to get and the speed that the blades go at. Another nice feature on this hedge trimmer is the anti-jam feature. And basically, if you get stuck on a piece of hedge and you can't get it out, rather than the usual grappling and turning the hedge trimmer on to try and get it out, we can press this button here with the R, with the arrow for reverse. So you hold that down, and when you do that, you'll notice that the green light just by there will start to flash. Now, when I operate the hedge trimmer, if you notice, it will just do 1 movement of the blades, just like that, and that will allow you to remove the hedge trimmer out of the jammed section of the hedge. The other good thing with the hedge trimmer is if you leave the power on and you walk away, it will turn itself off, so to reserve the battery power. And although this is battery powered, it's still 93 decibels as stated on the side there, so you're still going to want to wear some ear protection. So enough talking, let's go and see it in action. So having used this on the hedge for the first time, I have to say it's the fastest I've ever done the hedge. I was cutting it probably for about 30 minutes as opposed to my cheap old Titan hedge trimmer. That's an electric powered power cord trimmer, and that would usually take me, I would say, well over an hour because it's so much slower, and also you're always worried about the cable and dragging the extension lead, so that helps. You've obviously got the added bonus, this one's 75 centimeters long, so you obviously cut more in one sweep of the cutter, but I used that on the fastest setting for the whole of the half an hour. I didn't use it on the medium or the slower setting because I wanted to get through it. It did eat through the battery a bit. If you look at that there now, we got one red light left. This was a fully charged battery, and it's a new battery as well. I've never actually used this battery before, so that should give you some indication of how much power it will use. It'd be interesting to keep using that now and just see how long it'll go before it actually went flat, but I got no hedge left to cut at the moment, so there we go. But is what I would say, and is what I've got, is I got several of the Makita batteries knocking round. I had another 5 amp hour one charged, ready to go, and I think that's your best bet. Make sure you've got a charger, a full powered battery ready to go, and then if the one runs out you can just crack on and carry on and get the job done. Now on a smaller hedge, I doubt it very much that you need another battery. Like I said, that hedge is probably, I think it's about 30, maybe 40 metres long, and it did that in about half an hour. Like I say, full power, still power left in the battery, so you know you can't fault it. And the one thing I found when it comes to the weight of it is that it does start to get slightly heavy if you've got a hedge as long as mine. Still fine. I don't find this any harder to use than my cheap hedge trimmer I've had previously. And like I said, it's so well balanced that it really helps because you're not fighting against the hedge trimmer at all. But you do find by the end of it, you do notice the weight a bit and a little bit of fatigue on your hands. I would guess that compared to some of the cheaper models that Makita do with the shorter blades, they're probably a bit more light duty, and they do weigh a lot less, so they'd probably be more appropriate if you only had a small hedge in the garden you wanted to cut or something. I mean, for the job I'm doing, this is perfect, but like I said, don't think this is light as a feather, because it's not. It does start to take its toll after a while. Having said that, it's really heavy duty, it's typical Makita stuff, and you can feel it fly through that hedge, cut it so much better than my mains powered hedge trimmer I had before. As for the rotating handle, I found this really useful when you were cutting up the hedge like this. So I would hold this one there and then I could sweep up the hedge. When you go over the top of the hedge like that, I personally like to have the handle more back to normal, so I would rotate it to do the side of the hedge and I was flipping it back around to go straight over the top. But it does make a lot of difference because you could just fly up and down, you can hold it like that, flip your handle around nice and quick, and it just means you're not twisting and putting all that extra pressure on your joints. So if you've got a long hedge and you do this quite regularly, I think that's an excellent feature, well worth it. I did actually use the reverse function. I got jammed once and it did work a treat, to be fair. The blades just removed themselves slightly and it came straight out. Usually with the old hedge trimmer, I'm there battling away trying to tear it out while turning the hedge trimmer on. And again, it's just a bit more physical doing that. It works, but you find you tear half the hedge out when you're doing it. So that's a nice little touch. The other feature that Makita boasts with this particular hedge trimmer is the anti-vibrate function, and that just reduces the vibration and reduces that feeling you get after cutting a hedge. If you've been doing it for hours, I find with my old hedge trimmer, you do get that shaky feeling in your hand, which long term they say is quite bad for you if you're on the tools all day, every day. White finger, I think they call it. And it's just to reduce the effects of that, because really this is a sort of professional tool expected to be used by professional sort of grounds maintenance people. Obviously that's not what I'm doing, this is just my own tool, but I think for a long hedge and knowing how robust and durable the Makita tools are that I've got already, they never break, so I thought why not treat myself, go for this, and I gotta be fair, I'm not disappointed. So for me it's just another great Makita product and I got nothing really bad to say about it. If you're interested in this tool, I'll put a link to this in the description section below. If you enjoyed the video then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for regular notifications. I've been Pouse around the house. Ta-ta, farewell.